Loops in Python are used to repeat a block of code multiple times. The for loop iterates over a sequence like a list or range, while the while loop repeats as long as a condition is true. They help automate tasks and reduce repetitive code.
I want to write a program to print numbers from 0 to 4 using the for loop. We use a for loop to iterate through the numbers generated by range 5. Range 5 actually produces numbers from 0 to 4. In each iteration, the loop variable I takes on the next number, and we print it with the label number. Okay, let's run the code now. All numbers below 5 are printed. We can do a similar thing with the while loop. In order to do that, we define a variable count with an initial value of 0. Then using the while loop, we check if count is less than 5. And inside the loop, we print the current value of count with the label count, and we increment count by 1 using count plus equal 1 to avoid an infinite loop. Okay, let's run the code now. The result is the same. Now I want to talk about something else. How can we run a program to stop a for loop when a specific condition is met? To do this, we use a for loop to iterate through numbers generated by range 10. Inside that loop, we check if the current value of I is equal to 5. If the condition is true, the break statement exits the loop immediately. For other values, we print the value of I with the label value. Let's run the code now, and here is the results. Now, how can we skip the rest of the code in the current iteration and move to the next iteration? We have a continuous statement for this in Python. We use a for loop to iterate through numbers generated by range 5. Inside the loop, we check if the current value of I is equal to 2. If the condition is true, the continuous statement skips the rest of the code for that iteration. For other values, we print the value of I with the label value. Let's run the code now, and this is it, just 2 is not printed. Now I want to talk about nested for loops. We use nested for loops to print all combinations of 2 numbers now, and in a general view, we use a for loop inside another for loop to iterate over multiple dimensions. This is the application of nested for loops. We use an outer for loop to iterate through numbers 0 to 2 using range 3. Inside the outer loop, we use a nested for loop to iterate through numbers 0 to 1 using range 2. In each iteration, we print the current values of I and j in the format I colon curly braces, I curly braces, comma, j colon open curly braces, j, and close curly braces. Let's actually run the code now to see all combinations of these numbers. We can use while true to create an infinite loop and the break statement to exit the loop when a condition is met. We define a variable count with an initial value of 0. We use while true to create an infinite loop. Inside the loop, we print the value of count with the label count. We increment count by 1 to avoid an infinite loop. When count reaches 5, the break statement exits the loop. Let's actually run the code now. This is the result.